folks, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I do book things here. So today's video is going to be my Christmas book haul. There's a couple things that I got from friends, a couple things from family, and the majority of stuff is stuff that I bought myself, for myself, because that's how Christmas typically works for me, is I end up just buying the things that I want. There's also 3 book-related items that aren't books. I don't like sharing like everything I got for Christmas. I think that's kind of tacky, especially on this channel if it's not related to books or bookish things. I don't want to hear about it. I'm just going to show you books, things that relate to books, and things that I'm going to do while I listen to audiobooks. First thing are a few books that I got from Bookish friends. So basically Julie from Pages and Pens is like, you need to read this series. Girl, why haven't you read this series? I'm gonna get you this series. That is the Deanna Madden Girl in 6E trilogy by A.R. Torrey. Why can't I ever pronounce that right? But anyway, so it starts with the girl in 6E. This follows the story of Deanna Madden, who is a cam girl with murderous tendencies, and she basically locks herself in her apartment until something happens to where she sort of like forced herself to leave, kind of thing. So that's book 1 that I know. Then I got book 2, which is Do Not Disturb. I love these covers too, like they're so scandalous. And then the If You Dare, which is I think the 3rd one. I don't want to read the back of the other 2 because I don't want to be spoiled for those 2. I don't want this one to spoil me for this one, and vice versa. So those 3, and I'm super excited to read these. I think they're going to be like some of my first books that I pick up in 2018. Super cool, super happy because I have like a finished series, so I love that, and now I don't have to like go and search for other ones. Also, I can't find these anywhere in Canada, so I found them, and they got to me like 2 days before Christmas, which was perfect. The book is Difficult Women by Roxane Gay. This, I believe, is a bunch of short stories about various things having to do with women, and it's supposed to be intense, and I'm supposed to read it and talk about it, which I definitely will. It seems really interesting, and like I've heard that some of the stories are like quite haunting, so again, right up my alley. And then for those of you that don't know, I'm not the biggest Christmas person. Christmas fills me with like a massive shit ton of anxiety, and this year was just a shit fest. I try to make the best of it. Try my very hardest. It's hard for me. I decided this year to participate in Yola Book Flood, where you gift books with your significant other on New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, and then you sort of like lay in bed or around a fire or whatever and eat chocolate, drink hot chocolates, and read books. Jeff this year got me like really cute pajamas, and then he's like, I wanted to get you a book that you could start. So he ended up grabbing me the 3rd in the Diviner series. This is Before the Devil Breaks You. I'm actually currently listening to the 2nd one, so for Yola Book of Flood, I actually listened to the 2nd book on audiobook so that I can move on to this one. I'm not gonna lie, I hate that they changed the covers from the one that's like up here, but I do really like this cover anyway. I think it looks good with my hair too, but I don't mind them, and I don't mind if they were all like this. Why do they change the covers on these? I don't know. Then Jeff's sister Sarah got me some like book related items that I really like, which are super cute. And so she got me this book that was on my wish list because she was like looking through the books that were on there, and she's like, I just saw this and was like, this is the one that I have to get you. Put on my list, I'm like, make sure that it's the version that looks like an 80s VHS. And so the book that she got is My Best Friend's Exorcism. This is just the best book cover of all time. I don't even care if the book is bad. Apparently it's not great. It's supposed to be like really cheesy, really campy. This is just the best book cover of 2017, quite frankly, and any book that I own ever. It looks like a VHS, and like it has the side, the back is, you know, it looks like a movie still and stuff. It's just too fucking cool. So like, look at this. What are these crows attacking her for? I don't know. Why are these children skating into a lake? I don't know. Why is there a person jumping off this clock tower? I don't know. High school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade, but after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening wherever she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time their story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? Like, My best friend's exorcism blends teenage angst, adolescent drama, unspeakable horrors, and a mix of 80s pop song into a pulse-pounding supernatural thriller. So this sounds just the best. Then she also combined it with a book-related item, and that is a pair of reading socks that I so desperately want. So these are like very thick, like tall socks, and they're made out of that like material that looks like this. For those of you that don't know, I have what I call my one cold foot. Back in 2013, I ended up getting really drunk, wearing flats in the winter in Canada in minus 30-degree weather. I got really bad 2nd-degree frostbite, almost had nerve damage in my foot, and basically 4 or 5 years later, that one foot still to this day is always cold, and in the winter it just gets worse to the point, like even now if you were to touch my 2 feet, the one is like 5 degrees colder than the other. Like it's ridiculous. Frostbite sucks, and so everyone knows that like my one foot is always cold, so she ended up getting me these socks. It was funny because then the rest of the day I just wore the one sock on my one cold foot, and then Jeff got me a few gift cards, which people think that gift cards are impersonal. I love gift cards because what that means is whenever I'm feeling like I need to get out of the house, I'm feeling antsy, I now have the gift of going and doing something basically for free. It's like taking yourself on a date, and like I love gift cards. It's the best. Gift cards to local used bookstores because I like supporting local, as well as like a big box brand one, which I have books here that I'll show you in a second that I kind of got with that. So the other item that he got me is a new water bottle. The reason why this relates to book things is because people on the Drunk Live show on Julie or Chelsea's channel have made fun of me about this for like months now. Basically, I like drinking my water out of Starbucks cups. I know exactly how many ounces of fluid this is, and I just keep filling it up. I leave it beside my bed. Well, like I've had this one plastic cup since June. The label's worn off. It's actually like worn off like on the thing. Basically, this is dangerous for my health. Jeff got me like a proper glass Starbucks one to replace this one, and so I now keep this beside my bed. I put it beside me when I'm in the tub and I read so that I stay hydrated. But basically, this will be my most used gift of 2018 and forever and ever. It is glass. I'm worried I'm gonna break it, so it'll probably be broken in like 2 weeks. For those 2 weeks, I'm not drinking out of a 6-month-old plastic container. That's probably giving me chemicals straight to my brain. That is a well thought out, much needed gift. So Jeff's like, make sure you show them your Starbucks cup in the video. So the next are the books that I got myself with gift cards. These are books that I picked up on Boxing Day here in Canada, or December 26th if you're anywhere else. Equivalent of like Barnes & Noble. Basically they had like an amazing deal. It was like, you know, 60% off like certain box sets. All hardcover books were 30% off. Some of the books were like door crashers and 50% off. This is the stuff that I got for myself. It is a YA book that I've heard really good things about, and that is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I just keep hearing everyone talk about this. Chelsea read it, really liked it. Kayla or Lala from Books and Lala read this, really liked it. Both of them I think gave it like 5 stars or really high ratings, and this just sounds perfect, and I really wanted it. And it's quite big for a YA book, and I think that like this year is going to be the year of big books. A lot of the books I want to read are like 700 pages, so it's going to be a big book year. This follows the story of Frances, and she basically makes art for a podcast, and she sort of becomes friends with the boy, I believe, who makes the podcast, and it follows the story of like friendship, and everybody says it's like really beautiful and really cute. Side note, I actually didn't know until just now that the main character's name is Frances, and that was my grandmother's name, so that's cute. And I really like that. Feels. I think it's going to be lovely. And then another book that Chelsea talks highly about, and this is one that was on my list, and that is Little in Lion by Brandy Colbert. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I know that Chelsea basically said that she feels like this book is basically her life. I love her, so I was like, perfect, I'll read it. So next I went on like a spooky adventure, and I grabbed spooky books. Hi, hello, it's me. I picked up Joe Hill's Strange Weather because this cover is stunning. Yeah, I say that my best friend's Exorcism is my favorite cover. That is definitely like a goofy, funny cover. This one though is like, oh my god, like the detail in this is just like the skulls and like they're turning into, it's so cool. And it's that like sort of like, I don't, it's not like fully that velvety material, but like just want to, it feels good, you know? And then like the letters are raised. I'm just like, oh, fuck yeah. So this is by Joe Hill, which for those of you who don't know is Stephen King's son, one of his sons. He has Owen and Joe. This is a horror book that's comprised of 4 different novellas. I don't know what they're about. I'm not gonna lie. I literally am going to read this right now and find out. It says, Snapshot is the disturbing story of a Silicon Valley adolescent who finds himself threatened by the Phoenician, a tattooed thug who possesses a Polaroid instant camera that erases memories snap by snap. I'm shook. The next one is a young man takes to the skies to experience his first parachute jump and winds up a castaway on an impossibly solid cloud, a Prospero's island of rolling vapor that seems animated by a mind of its own in a loft. Yes. Next is, on apparently normal day in Boulder, Colorado, the clouds open up in a downpour of nails, splinters of bright crystals that shred the skin of anyone not safely undercover. Rain makes vivid this escalating apocalyptic event as the deluge of nails spreads across the country and around the world. Apocalyptic nails falling from the sky? Oh, yes, please. And then the last one is, in Loaded, a mall security guard in coastal Florida town courageously stops a mass shooting and becomes a hero to the modern gun rights movement. But under the glare of the spotlight, his story begins to unravel, taking his sanity with it. When an out-of-control summer blaze approaches the town, will he reach for his gun again and embark on the one last day of reckoning? Ooh. All of those sound great. I didn't even know what I was getting into with this. I just like kind of just bought it and was like, listen, I loved Joe Hill's Fireman and like I just wanted to get it because it was a cool cover, but those sound amazing. The chapter's Door Crasher, and this was 50% off, which makes sense because the Canadian list price is $39.99, so I got this for $20. This is Stephen King, Owen King, Sleeping Beauty, and what's really cool about this is I saw an interview where they talked to the 2 of them. I think it was like Good Morning America or something like that, and they basically said that they shared ideas so much and they would switch work and like rewrite each other's work that when they both read it back they couldn't tell who wrote what, which I think is really cool. It'll be my first time reading Owen King, so I'll be intrigued to read it and see if I can spot anything that I don't think is Stephen King. It's a world where all of the women suddenly just go to sleep. They're wrapped in this like cocoon-like substance, and basically if the cocoon gets disturbed they wake up and they're violent and like freak the fuck out, I'm sure. And this one woman doesn't, so it's like, is she the like random sort of cure to this, or you know, figures out like what's going on. But yeah, it sounds super cool. I think it's going to be an interesting take on feminism probably and like what it means to be a woman in society. I'm intrigued to see if there's any sort of like problematic stuff in this, because Stephen King can kind of like push that boundary with certain subjects where you kind of go meh, meh, you know, but it sort of like makes you think. I'm intrigued about this. It is a monster though. Wow. It looks bigger than it is. Like I thought this would have like 1,000 pages. It has a solid 700, like right on the nose. That's gonna go over here. It is also a weapon and weighs like 7,000 pounds. And then the last that I grabbed on Boxing Day is a box set that I was really happy to get because it was super discounted. This box set I think is typically like $78 and I got it for like $34. That is the Stephen King Dark Tower books 1 to 3. They did have the big 8-piece box set of all the books in the Dark Tower series, but it wasn't on sale and it's like $200 and I'm like, no. I want to read all of Stephen King's work. I'm not exactly ready to read 8 books in a series that I know nothing about. Yeah, so I picked up this. It looks gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie, I know nothing about the Dark Tower series. And I don't really want to. I know that it's some of his work that's not really horror based and it's like basically more of like a fantasy series, which I don't read a lot of, but like I said, I want to read all of Stephen King, so when I saw that this was super discounted and also like beautiful, I just grabbed it. This thing that is book related is something that my mom got me, but it has kind of a cool story behind it. So basically when my mom was pregnant with me, she got this puzzle and I figured, you know, books, puzzles, it's close enough in hobbies that like I feel comfortable talking about it. 1988, so almost exactly 30 years ago. I'm old, hi. She ended up getting this puzzle and it is a really cool puzzle that is all, you guys are gonna see it in a second, but it's all crayons in rainbow order that like intertwine with each other. So she did this puzzle, her and my dad, and they like you know, finished it, put it on this backing, and it hung up in our guest room in our house for years, okay? And as a kid, I was obsessed with this puzzle. Like, I would literally sit there and like stare at this thing for like the first, I don't know, 8 years of my life. We ended up moving to a new house when I was like 7 or 8, and the movers, instead of taking the puzzle down and like properly transporting it, these fucking idiots decided to roll the puzzle. It's a puzzle. Like, I mean, it had like tape on the back, like duct tape probably, but like, anyway. So they rolled the puzzle, transported it, and it just like broke into like all the pieces, and it was basically destroyed. So my mom threw it out. For years, all I've done is like look for this puzzle, search for this puzzle. I've entered things on eBay like Crayola fucking crayon puzzle, like 1980s crayon puzzle. I haven't been able to find it anywhere. Like, when I last looked, I was probably like 7 years ago when I last looked, completely forgotten about this puzzle. Was looking for a puzzle for Jeff actually, and stumbled across this on eBay and found it, and it's pretty cool. So it's vintage, it's from eBay, it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna show you guys. So this is what the puzzle looks like. Like, it's the coolest thing. It's like my childhood just like fucking just came back into my life. It's the coolest thing. Yeah, 1,000-piece puzzle. The lady on eBay apparently said, like, I think all the pieces are there. We're not certain that all the pieces are there. I haven't counted them yet. But yeah, what's really cool about this is like, this is, you know, the vintage box and stuff. Yeah, so it's right here on the side that it was made in 1986. So it makes sense because, you know, my mom got it in 1988 and did it. I was born in 89, and yeah, I don't know, isn't that the coolest thing? I don't know, I just had to share that because I just thought it was like wicked cool. Like, I had no idea. Jeff knew that like she got it and stuff, and like, yeah, it's just really cool. So like, I literally just now cleaned off my kitchen table, like completely cleaned it off, and I am going to go downstairs tonight, open this box, start the puzzle, listen to an audiobook, and it's going to be the thing that I do when like Jeff's at work at night. This is what it looks like, all the pieces. Oh, it smells cool. It smells vintage. But we'll see if all the pieces are there, and if it's not, I don't care. And just the fact that like I've now seen this image again that was burned in my brain, yeah, pretty fucking cool. So anyway, one thing I noticed that's really cool is that like this is an authentic like 80s item, right? Look at the colors and like the fonts and stuff on this, and then literally look at the cover of my best friend's exorcism and tell me that that's not like vaguely familiar. Isn't that something cool? I just noticed that just now. That is my book and book related things Christmas haul. Hope you guys kind of enjoy this. Let me know what books you might be excited for. I'm losing sun, like big time. The sun's going down, so I better go before I have like no light left. Hopefully you guys are doing good, and until my next video, I will talk to all of you soon. Bye!